All right, everyone, here we are with ticker symbol SPX, the S&P 500 index. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all my first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to my channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all my subscribers, welcome back. And let's jump into this chart. So here we are seeing the S&P 500 index. And when we zoom out and we look at it from a broader perspective, it's been in a bullish run all year. I started circling the points when I started doing these videos. I stopped doing it for a little bit, and then I completely started circling it every single time. So every single circle was a date of the pump, and the most recent two pumps were the 17th and the 24th. So let's look at it closely so we could see what these pumps do. And just to prove it to you guys, if you haven't seen the previous videos and you're a first-time viewer, the previous pump was on the 17th, the 24th, and the upcoming one is on the 1st. And the 1st lands this Tuesday. So we're going to talk about what may happen on the 30th leading up to Tuesday and what could happen after that point. So here we are with the 17th, and the 16th was right here at this peak, and on the 17th it fell. It fell to these lows of 35.88, and it rose up to these highs. This was the peak of the 17th, and that is 36.23. That right there is about a 40 to almost 50 point jump. And I had stated that it might slowly dip and then rise back up. And it certainly did that. And it broke even. That's why I drew that line. We talked about it last week before this pump. And we were sitting down at this point looking at what was going to happen next. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. And I had stated it might break even. And what these pumps do is what it's holding up is the market. It's holding up the S&P 500 index and the market overall to stop it from actually going in this direction. Every time those pumps happen, this is the direction that the stocks want to take, because quickly after the pump, you could see that there's a slight drop. And then right after this pump, it rose and then it went down again. And then this one, it rose and it's slightly just hanging out, but it's at a break-even point right now. And same thing every single time. Now in this direction, it was actually working its way back up to a bullish trajectory. So sometimes news and other catalysts go ahead and get all the investors excited to participate and be part of the market overall. But most likely, or most of the time, what these pumps do is hold up the market from falling in the downward direction, which is good for us as investors, but it only will last for as long as the Federal Reserve continues to pump the markets. If that was to change, I'm not sure how well these numbers can hold themselves up, to be honest. But right now, we know that these pumps are happening, and let's look at the most recent one. So the most recent one was on the 24th. This is the end of the 23rd, and the 24th starts here. So it was at 35.77, and it reached highs here of about 36.41. That right there is a pretty big jump as well. That's almost a 70 to 80 point jump. This most recent pump was pretty big, and a lot of news and catalysts of the week starting off, and a lot of overall things started making investors feel a little bit more encouraged, not just the pump, but encouraged to invest. But what happened before the pump? So I had stated that it could slowly probably come back up and then level off, but it didn't do that. It actually slowly dipped, and then it brought itself back up, hung out there, and then that's when the pump date came and it just ran up. So on Monday, it was just kind of with some volatility up and down, and then the next day it just brought it up, and the rest of the week it held itself up. So the question is, what's going to happen the next pump? Next pump date is 12/1/2020. That lands on Tuesday. That is the first day of December, but we have Monday in between. So there's two ways this could go. Either it can slowly kind of hang out and dip, and what happens on the date of the pump, this is all Monday, and then the date of the pump is Tuesday, and it brings itself up, and it just levels off like it did here. It'll do a level off effect. Now, that's one possibility, and sometimes it can actually go slightly above it, getting to newer highs, and that's what these pumps do. Now, the point of knowing about these pumps is paying close attention to the right entry point and the right exit point. I'm not here to tell you when to buy, when to sell, what to buy, when to sell, or what to hold. I'm just here to share with every single investor the great news that there is an opportunity to maximize profits and minimize losses, because you could be one of the folks getting in at this point or even this point and getting out at this point, right? Or even in the middle. It doesn't even have to be all the way at the top because you don't know the top, right? Or even right here. But if you got in here and you got out there, that's still a gain. If you got in here and you got out there, that's still a gain. You know, these ticker symbols, if the S&P 500 index is rising, these ticker symbols are rising up 30 cents to $3 per share, sometimes even more. Now, it's your decision to do the research and also do your due diligence to rationalize and make your own rational decisions as investors. I'm just here to share the information and the date so that you guys can be aware of it. This has been going on for months now. I've been talking about it since July, I think even back towards June, and we've been following the S&P 500 weekly, and on these dates, there's always some type of gain. Sometimes it drops a little bit, but then it rises itself back up, or even if you hold through till the next one, and so forth. But at the end of the day, I'm not here to tell you to buy, sell, or hold, or what to buy, or what to sell, or what to hold. I'm just here to share these points. So this is one scenario. But I did want to clarify that, because before I jump back into the chart, I did want to clarify that so every investor is aware and understands the purpose of these videos, due to the fact that this is something that is happening. I came to the realization of it, and as these dates continue to proceed, they keep having a similar effect. Now, I don't know how it's going to react when the Federal Reserve decides to stop doing this, and I believe that that's where we'll see some shift, and I don't know how strong or how well these numbers can hold themselves up, because these pumps are definitely holding up the market. I will be honest. It's what's keeping it up in this direction. I don't know if without the pumps it can hold itself up this well, though. That's something I do want every single investor to be aware of, and I could be wrong, but I do want to state that. So back to the chart. So this is one scenario. Slight dip, level off. On the date of the pump, it's going to rise up. The next scenario, which is a little bit different, is it actually brings itself up on Monday because of the anticipation and levels off, or slightly dips. It could do one of the two, right? One of these two. Level off up here or slightly dip. And regardless of what it does in either one of those directions, it's at a newer, higher position. And on the date of the pump, it's going to bring itself up to newer highs. And that's something to keep in mind, pay close attention to, and see how it's doing. Now, if it does it in this reaction, quickly after or the day after of the pump, it could probably slightly fall, because it's going to actually correct itself after the fact that people are taking profits or uncertain and waiting till the next pump. So the week all depends on also how much news is coming out and how excited and hopeful investors are, because if not, it won't even dip like this. It'll hold itself up in that direction. But that's the after days, right? After the pump. Right now, we're just looking at Monday possibility, and then the date of the pump, which is Tuesday, December 1st, it rises itself up. Or the other situation where Monday, it brings itself down, levels off, and on Tuesday, it just breaks even, or it ends up slightly above where that break-even point is, bringing the stock market and the index overall to newer highs and individual ticker symbols rising up with it. As always, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community, and don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watched this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.